So I'm going to show you how to put together the fly front zipper on a pair of pants. The pattern pieces themselves, this pattern pieces for the front of the pants, and notice that there is a notch that indicates where the zipper stopper should be. You have also the shield piece, and it's got one from fabric and one from interfacing, and you have the J fly facing that is also cut one from fabric and one from interfacing. The pants pieces are cut too, because you have the right and the left side of the pant legs. So you will cut your pieces and you will interface the shield, and you will also interface the fly front facing. The pants pieces themselves, they don't need to be interfaced or anything, just these two pieces are the ones that need to be interfaced. So I went ahead and I interfaced the shield, and also I interfaced the facing piece. With the facing piece, you have to keep in mind which direction the J or the L fly is going to, because sometimes if in the women's wear it will look like an L, in men's wear it's gonna look like a J. So you need to keep in mind the direction of your fly facing, and also because the interfacing is going to go on the wrong side, so that's another thing that you have to keep in mind when you are applying the interfacing to your fabric. In all cases, the interfacing will go to the wrong side of the fabric, and you will have your pieces interfaced. The next step I'm going to show you is how to finish the lower edge of the shield. So with the right sides together, I am going to stitch the lower edge of the shield at 1/2 inch, because that's my seam allowance on my pattern piece. And then after I do that, I will flip it outside out, and I will be serging the raw edge of the shield piece after stitching this part. And the other seam that needs also to be finished before you attach the shield to the pants is the curved edge of the fly facing. So I'll first do this stitching part, and then I will serge the edges that needs to be serged, and I'll show it to you, and then I'll proceed to attaching the pieces to each other. So again, with right sides together, I will fold my shield piece, and I will stitch the lower edge with 1/2 inch seam allowance, back stitching beginning and end. Okay, so I'll raise my foot, and I will take my piece under the foot, and then aligning my raw edges together, I will back stitch, and then continue stitching at number 2 stitch length, and when I get to the end, I'll back stitch again. Alright, so with that done, I will trim my seam allowance in half, and then I will fold my piece inside out. Okay, so that the lower edge is nice and cleaned up and ready to be attached to the zipper. Alright, so the next step is I will be serging these two raw edges together. I will trim the seam allowance, flip, press, serge the two raw edges together, the long raw edges together, in preparation for attaching the zipper to the shield piece. And I'm going to also grade this corner so that I have a nice crisp corner when I flip it inside out. Okay, so again, the next step, I will be serging the raw edges together, and I will be also serging the curved raw edge of the fly facing. So I serged the curved edge of the facing, and I also serged the raw edge of the shield, and I'm ready now to attach the pieces to each other. So what I'm going to do is I am going to attach the facing to the front of my pants piece or shorts piece, or wherever you're going to put your fly front on. Again, the short fronts or the pants fronts will be two. You are applying the zipper to the front side, so you will cut two, and once you remove your pattern piece, you will have to mirror your pieces so that you have two pieces that are going into opposite directions. And this will be the right side of my garment. So this is the right side of my fabric, and this will be the right side of my fabric too. Okay, and I will apply the fly front zipper as a J shape, which is like the menswear application. And the menswear application, it's the most common, so you will find even women's wear pants or jeans that has the J-fly front. What I am doing right now, I'm aligning the waist seam together, and there is a notch that needs to be that is on the pants piece that I need to notch on my facing to indicate where my zipper stop will be. So at this point where this notch is where my zipper stop should be, like the bottom of, like the lower edge of the zipper stop should be aligned with. Okay, so, the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch that straight edge of the front facing at 1/2 inch, and after I do that I will understitch the fly facing so that I can keep the facing inside my garment. So I'm gonna take this to my sewing machine, and I am aligning my notches together. Okay, and I am going to put a pin where I am going to stop stitching or start stitching, depending which direction you're starting from and which direction you will end up with. And also I'm gonna put another pin at the waist, and I will put another pin somewhere in between to hold the two pieces together. And once I pin my pieces together, I'll take it to the sewing machine. And I'm going to start where this notch is. Right, I will lower my needle down manually, remove my pin, take few stitches, and then I'll back stitch, and then once I back stitched, I can stitch until I get to the waistline. Number 2 stitch, again back stitching beginning and end. Okay, and I will I trimmed my thread, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to understitch. So I took the seam allowance under the facing, and I'm going to under stitch from where my notch is all the way to the waistline. And I will do it at a 1/16 of an inch by aligning my connection seam with the inside edge of the toe. So I'll take a few stitches, back stitch, and then from here it's gonna be just aligning the connection seam with the inside edge of the foot toe. And when I get to the waist, I will back stitch and trim. So this is attaching the facing to the side of the fly top stitching. This what I just did here will keep the facing inside the garment. Another thing I need to do is I need to attach the two fronts together. So the right, I'll put them right side to right side. So again, this is the right side of the left side of the pants, and the other side is the right side. Okay, and I am going to stitch this curved seam below my shield, and I will stop where the notch is. This step can be done first, or you can do it at this point. Okay, so again, my second pin is exactly where the notch is, and notice that I'm taking all the seam allowance out of my way. I'm just stitching the right side of the crotch curve to the left side of the crotch curve from the inseam to the notch. And again, the seam allowance is 1/2 inch, so that's exactly what I'm going to follow. I'm gonna stitch a couple of stitches, number 2 stitch, back stitch, and then I'll keep stitching at 1/2 inch until I get to the notch, and then I'll back stitch again. Manipulating my fabric with my left hand, and when I come close to a pin, I will just remove it. Okay, and I'll keep stitching until I get to my notch. Right. One more, and then back stitch. So that the crotch seam is attached below my zipper pieces. Okay, so right now I have the front crotch sewn, and I also have my facing piece attached to the fly side of the top stitching side of the front. Okay, so I have these. I can now fold my facing back. Okay, and I will also attach my zipper to the fly shield. Notice something, the shield will be attached to this side, so like put it like that, draw edges matching with each other, and then you will flip it this way because the shield lives underneath the fly front side. Alright, so it's going to be attached this way. Okay, so the shield will be here, and it's gonna be like the serged edge to the raw edge of the pants, and the zipper will be sandwiched in between. So the zipper should be on top of the serged side of the shield. So right now I am looking at where I need to mark where the zipper stopper should be. So it should be at this point over here. So on my shield, I am bringing the shield finished edge to the facing, and I'm going to mark where the bottom of my zipper stop should be on the shield. And this is the right side of my zipper, so it's about like 1/8 of an inch above the finished edge. The zipper itself will be attached. Again, this is the right side of the front, so the zipper will be attached to this side over here, so as if you're flipping it. And then so I put it this way because it's going to be right side to right side, but also the zipper will be sandwiched in between. So the zipper needs to, like the zipper stopper needs to be aligned with my mark. And then I am going to align the edge of the zipper tape with the edge of my shield, and the zipper stopper lower edge will be touching the mark that I got to match with the facing. And I will pin my zipper this way and take it to the machine and attach the zipper to the shield side. Okay. The other thing I need to do is I need to go to my ironing board, and I will fold my shield side of the pants back using the notch at the waist and the last stitch at the crotch seam to press my seam backwards. So I'll do that, and then I'll come back and stitch the zipper to the shield, and then I'll proceed to putting the puzzle pieces together. So I went ahead and pressed my seam allowance backward, and I pinned on this side, but I'm going to stitch on the opposite side. You don't need a special foot for this step, and I'm going to stitch from the bottom of my shield. So I'm gonna take a few stitches and then back stitch, and then I'll stitch all the way to the waistline. And when I get to the waistline, I will back stitch. And this stitch over here is not quite a base, you can consider it a basting stitch, just to hold the zipper to the shield and so that they act as one piece. Once I'm done with this, I am going to align my zipper stopper with the folded edge of this side. Okay, and now I'm going to transfer my pins to this side over here, and I'm aligning my fold right next to my zipper coil. Right, and I'm going to now change my foot to the finishing foot, the left side finishing foot, so that I can stitch as close as possible to the zipper coil. This side or this top stitching will be covered by the facing side, so you need to be as close as possible to the zipper coil. Okay, and I'm gonna pin over here. Okay, if you are stitching from this side, you will use the right finishing foot. If you are stitching this way, you will use the left finishing foot. In any case, like the foot should be holding onto the fabric while you stitch the pieces together. I think I'm gonna use the right finishing foot because my fabric is shifting a little bit. So right now I'm aligning the waistline of both pieces, and I'm flipping the direction of my pins. and that should end me where I'm supposed to go, which is where the zipper stopper is. Okay. So I have my right finishing foot in place, and you can notice that the notch on this foot is on the right side, and I'm going to hold my fabric with the foot, right, and the folded edge is aligned with the edge of the foot, while the needle is stitching at about 1/16 of an inch from that fold. So I'm gonna start with a few stitches, number 2, and then back stitching, and then I'm going to continue stitching until I get to the zipper stop, and I will back stitch again, removing my pins as I go. And once I remove my pins, I'm noticing that my fabric is relaxing, so any tension that was created on the fabric by pinning gets released. So I'm gonna come here right where my zipper stop ends, and I will back stitch in this area. Okay, and then I will trim my thread, right, and you can see I'm stitching as close as possible to the fold. Okay, and now I can take the facing side, and I will cover my zipper with the facing side, right, and I will cover all my stitching using the facing side, and I'll pin it in place. So I'm gonna do it this way, right, and I'm shifting the center front a tiny bit, and I am going to pin the facing side to where the zipper is, and I'll put a couple of pins to hold the two sides together. This is a modified or a special kind of lapped zipper, right? So that's why we lap one side over the other side. Okay, all right, so I covered my attachment stitched between the zipper tape and the pants with the side that has the facing. All right, the next step is stitching. So I'm going to flip like this, and I am going to pin the other side of the zipper tape to my facing, right, and I'm gonna take it to the machine and stitch that other side in place to just the facing piece. So as you can see, I am folding back my shield, right, and I am pinning my zipper. Okay, and I'm gonna take it to the machine, and I am going to hold this the zipper, the other side of the zipper tape, the free side of the zipper tape at this point, to my facing, and I'm starting to stitch also at the same level of my zipper stopper bottom. Okay, and I'm gonna start by back stitching. Okay, the placement of this is not like a specific place. All right, so in the middle of the zipper tape is fine. Okay, and once I get to the waist, I'll back stitch and trim my thread. Okay, so right now I have the zipper attached to both sides, one to the facing and the other side to the shield. Okay, and right now is I need to have the shield out of my way because I am about to top stitch the facing to the right side of my pins. So I'll put a couple of pins to keep that shield out of my way so that I don't catch it in stitching unintentionally. Okay, and I am going to draw my fly stitching, which is gonna be like the width of the facing is 1.5 inches, so I need to be smaller than that. So it's usually 1.25 inches away from the edge. So I'm going to use my gridded ruler to draw a line that is parallel to center front. Okay, and about 1.25 inches away. I just want to make sure that my facing is gonna catch on it. It is. And I'm going to draw a straight line from the waist down with my heat erasable marker. Okay, or you can also use a tailor's chalk for this job. Any marking tool that will allow you to stitch to mark without leaving a permanent mark. And I'm also feeling where the zipper stopper is. Can remove this pin so that I find my way. So the zipper stopper is right there. I am going to mark where it is, and I need to stitch behind it so that I don't break my needle. All right, and I'll put my pin back, and I need to shape the like the curve between my straight line and my zipper stopper to create the J. And for that you can use your pattern piece. So I'm gonna use my pattern piece to be able to basically mark the shape of my J. Okay, again I'm using a heat erasable marker, and I am going to take this to the machine, and I'm going to stitch it where I am stitching the J side of the pants to the facing. And again, the shield is out of my way. If the shield is included in my stitching, you're gonna have an unpleasant surprise, which is you shut off your zipper. All right, so I'm gonna start stitching. Back stitching, and then I'm going to continue stitching to top stitch the pants to the facing part. Right now I want to change my zipper foot to the left finishing zipper foot because when I get here I need my stitching to be to the left side of the foot. So while I'm like that, I am going to switch my foot, and all I have to do is to keep my top stitching mark on the left side or left edge of my foot. When we get to the curved area, just be careful. Manipulate your fabric to keep your marks touching the edge of your foot, and you can go slow. Okay, and this area over here is a little bulky, so just be very careful. If you have to hand crank, you can. I removed my pin so that it doesn't interact with my foot. And I'm just looking under the machine to make sure that I'm not including anything that has nothing to do with this stitching area. I don't like the curve, so I will just stop right there, and then I'll back a little bit, and then try to get this curve done nicely. So I'm gonna come here, and I removed the couple of stitches that don't look right, and I'm going to overlap a few stitches, lowering my needle to match exactly where I was stitching, and I'll try again. As you can see, I'm going very slow. Okay, and then slow but steady in this area, going to the crotch seam. And once I get to the crotch seam, I will make my last stitch at the crotch seam, and then I'll back stitch, and then I'll stitch again as if I'm creating a bartek. Once I'm done with the stitching, I still don't like the shape, so I would fix this part over here. The transition is not as smooth as I would like it to do, but for the sake of finishing the video, what I will do next is I can now open this part, okay, and I can unpin my shield on the back. Alright, and as you can see, the J side is covering my previous stitching, okay, and my zipper is functioning, alright, and the shield is free, so it's functioning right. Nothing is wrong with my zipper. And then what the last step is, I need to keep my shield and my zipper facing attached to each other. So in this area over here, where the curve of the lower part of the facing meeting the lower edge of my shield, I will do a few stitches and back stitches to keep these two areas, or like these two pieces together. So I'm gonna come here, and I am going to again do a few stitches at the bottom of the two pieces where they are overlapping each other, and I'm going to take a few stitches and then back stitch a couple of times, and that's to hold the two pieces together. Alright, so this concludes how you will create a J-fly. Again, I don't like this area, so I can just take out this part and fix it. And over here my zipper is functioning, right, and my shield is free from my facing. My facing is attached to the pants. Over here, like maybe half an inch below the waistline, you can put two new zipper stoppers and cut the excess of the zipper at the waistline. This part over here will be hidden inside the waistband. So also what you can do is you can do just at a quarter of an inch or so, you can do machine stitching and back stitching as a temporary zipper stop. Don't do that with the zipper closed, because if you do this while the zipper is closed, it's going to trap the zipper pull outside of the like above here, so your zipper will not be functioning. But you can do it again within a quarter of an inch, because the seam allowance at the waist in this case is half an inch, so you can do it within the seam allowance amount. Again, I'm gonna do back stitching, basically machine created zipper stopper. So now if I zip, it's gonna stop at these stitches. And it's doing its function and everything is looks good. Again, the only thing I need to fix is just this little curve that I don't like how it's shaped, but the process and the steps are the same for you to create your J-fly front, or attach a fly front zipper to pants or skirts or whatever garment that you want to attach it to. All right, that's it. Thank you.